I'm assuming you're all here for the tea, the market stuff. People were absolutely wonderful. I will say the community around market banners, my price banners, my price tags, I threw, nobody looks at it. I do trowel through, trudge. The lady, she did teach me a lesson. She showed me it's obviously not obvious, and it was a compliment. If she looked at my stuff and thought it was good enough to... Let's do the lights. I put it back down because I was trying to decide where. And I said to the lady at the till, it reminds me of Phoebe from Friends.
Woke up late again, same routine, no end, city noise, loud buzz, coffee spills, red bus.
Good morning everyone, how are you? How are we? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If you're new here, I'm Victoria and I run 2 online Etsy shops from this studio here. Record it all, put it all together to bring you along with me. On one side is Scrunchies and Bows, where I thrift materials such as duvet covers, pillowcases, dressing gowns, pyjamas, bring them home, give them a good wash and turn them into beautiful hair accessories such as scrunchies, bows, headbands, clips. So you'll know on this channel, sewing goes together like cookies and cream. Having ADHD is something I found really helps give me peace and calms my mind. So a few other things have been put on the shop, and I'm sure many other things will in the future be added. And on the other side is my much beloved witchy shop. Everything on there is made by myself, and that is Kack-A-Ling Sisters. All things witchy you'll find on there, such as spells, wheels of the year, witches' ruins, mini broomsticks, all things witchy, you name it, you'll find on there. I recommend having a good look. It's like a curiosity shop. So I'm assuming you're all here for the tea, the market tea. So if you're new to the blog, I'll update. I'm a full-time hairdresser, and in between I obviously run the 2 shops, and I have spent from summer to now building some stock for my Christmas market that I don't know what I was thinking. I sort of on a whim just went, I'm doing it, and paid for my stall for 2 days and went about my business. I have been producing stock for that stall. So the weekend just gone was when I held that market stall. The day before was my birthday, so I spent the day trying to relax, so I couldn't even relax properly. Then we all chipped in and went and did this market, and I'll pop in some clips here.
Dandelions in my hair, summer sunshine everywhere. We were lost but didn't care, living dreams without a prayer. Running off through fields of gold, stories shared and secrets told. Wishing dreams would never fold, hearts so free and spirits bold. Dandelion dreams take flight, glitter stars within the night. Hold my hand and hold it tight. Youthful hearts and pure delight. Hold my
first day, I'd already practice run how I wanted my stall to look and how I wanted it to set up, and when I got there I kind of did that and how I thought it was going to be in my head, but I really didn't want products just lying on the table. I don't know why, I just didn't want them to, I didn't want it to look like a jumble sale. I wanted it to look a bit more professional, but I ended up with exactly that. I'd kind of left myself too short to make some tray boxes. I'd made some but only made 4, and I didn't have enough for some big bows, and as you can see by the setup, it worked. It was okay. There was twinkly lights. It worked. It was okay. What I will say from the first day and the first setup is we were there, it was 10 till 3, so it was 5 hours. But we were there much earlier to set up, and it was slow. It was really slow going, and throughout the day I had only made 2 sales. And I know people might look at that and think, oh gosh, but everybody was feeling the same. All the stall holders were feeling the same, and it was a common like sort of chatter amongst all of us there that it was actually really quite slow. Now there were stalls getting more and more, like getting busier. It tended to be the food stalls, and one right next to me was a cake stall, and that was getting a lot of foot traffic, but even she was saying that was quite slow. But I made 2 sales. On the first day I did not make my money, like my table money. I didn't. It was my first ever market. But what I will say, I don't think my table display helped. My prices seemed to not match what people's opinions was. Like, it was just one of those days. We got home, we could leave our things set up, but I'd never done a stall before, market stall before. Everyone was covering theirs. They were leaving it up but covering it and putting the big displays down on the floor. I didn't know any of that, but thankfully the gentleman on the other side had a spare cloth for me to put over all my stuff. People were absolutely wonderful. I will say the community around markets and the community around like the Christmas market was just absolutely wonderful. People watched people's stalls while they had to go to the bathroom, or they wanted to go have a look around. They were very welcoming, very open-hearted. They were lovely. And then on the second day I couldn't sleep. I thought, great, I've done all this work, I have really put everything into this, and I just wanted it to go well, and I couldn't sleep. So at 5 o'clock in the morning I got up and I come in here and I redid my price list. I redid all my price, what do you call them? Price tags. The thing, like banners, my price banners, my price tags. I made some homemade. All items are homemade because the amount of people that come up to my store. There was another, she kind of did a bit of everything, but also bows and scrunchies, and she said the same things when I spoke to her. A lot of people now are being just purely crushed by Temu and Shein, and they're just being crushed by it. And even it did happen to me. So my Santa scrunchie was there, and they were very, very loved. They were loved. People would come in, they laugh and giggle about them and say what a brilliant idea they was. But one person didn't even try to hide it. Come up to the store. I think it must have been a nan, and she was like, oh my god, look at this is so brilliant. And then the daughter, who was, I'd say, in her 30s, was like, yeah, I know, I've got a reindeer one coming. It's coming from Temu. It's cheaper than that. That's fine. It is what it is. I think I've had to use Temu a few times in the past as well, and Shein in the past. People will shop where they shop, but I did put it up there because I thought it was really important for people to know. Because I also noticed, even though the front of my table had scrunchy bow on it, and it also said what I do, so I thrift materials, saving it from landfills and turn them into something really beautiful. Nobody looks at it. Nobody. I don't know if they do at makers markets or craft markets. I don't know if that's different, but not one person stopped and looked at that sign and read that sign. Nobody did. So what I wanted to do when I come home on the Saturday was make a banner for the top that actually said like thrifted material turned into something beautiful, saving it from landfill. But I actually spoke that whenever somebody was interested, I said, look, it's really important that you know that it's thrifted material, and I I've given it a good wash and I've turned it into this, because it was important to know, and I didn't want people thinking that, I don't know, that they've just come and brought, or they're coming and buying something that I've gone to the material shop and brought, or something else. Like, it's difficult because what I offer is totally different to just being able to go and buy a load of material. I do trudge. It makes it sound like it's hard for me. It's not. I love it. I even went this morning before I started filming. But I do go round, and I go around not just one or two. There's like so many that I go round, and I go to 3 different towns that I go to pick the right sort and to make sure it's of good enough quality as well to use it for the thing it needs to be used for. Scrunchies, it needs to be quite a strong material. So it's not simple as just going into a material shop and just going, oh, I like that design. I do have to like pick it, and I thought it was important for people to know, not that it's a hardship on me, none of that. I didn't want them thinking that this material's just come out of a material shop. I needed them to understand that it is thrifted material, and they weren't looking at what the sign was saying. So that was massively important too. And also, somebody did stand in front. I was quite it was a compliment, I guess, for me, but I was kind of taken aback. I think it's because I probably wouldn't approach somebody in this way. But Bold as Brash just stood in front of my store and was like, oh yeah, that's what they do these days. They just buy a load of stuff from Temu and Shein or Alibaba and sell it on. Now, I did think, oh, I could go and correct her, but I'm not wasting my energy. I'm not wasting my energy on that. I wasn't willing to go and have a conversation about that. Go, you think what you think. You're just not for this. That's okay. But I did. So it was after that on the Saturday that I was like, I don't have one handmade, this is handmade sign at all on my desk or on my stall. And I didn't think to do that because I thought it would be quite obvious, but the lady, she did teach me a lesson. She showed me it's obviously not obvious, and it was a compliment. If she looked at my stuff and thought it was good enough to come from Temu or Shein, I suppose that's a good thing for me. However, I lowered my prices just by £1 on everything. I lowered it all by £1 and put up the all items are handmade. And then I also brought a lot of my hairdressing heads. I have 2 that are just for designs, but then I have a lot of hairdressing heads from over the years that you use for colour or cutting or doing fancy design work with. And I decided to, that morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, in the salon and the studio, to design all those heads and redesign them all so that when I went back there I could actually put some of the bows and the scrunchies and the headbands on these heads, which gave people a visual and people could see them. And then up we got. We all left the house and went and toddled over there and set back up, and it looked a lot better, and I'll pop that in here. And as you can see, it did look a lot better, and that day, the Sunday, did go much better for us. There was a lot more sales, and we did make our table money back. We did make our table money back, and the moment we made our table money back, we were able to just relax a little bit, because for 2 days it was quite expensive. We all celebrated, and it was all a bit of a moment. The kids surprised me a lot. They felt really bad for me, and when I explained to them that it's okay, like this is more for the experience, to see if this is something I want to do and if it's something that I will do in the future. And if you've watched my previous vlogs, you'll see that I didn't make the actual pegboards. I just used my pegboards in the kitchen. I was thinking of taking this one, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do any more. One thing that was very apparent, and I wish the organisers had have said this, it was an indoor market and there was outdoor stalls. It was an indoor market, but it wasn't a maker's market. I think that's the best way I can put it. So a maker's market or a craft market is filled with people like myself and or other people like-minded that will make things and then go and sell them, and it's perfect for that, and you will do well in those markets. But the market I went to was a Christmas market, and it was stalls filled with sweet cones or chocolates or cakes, a lot of 3D printing, which did well just from my children. Just from my children alone, they did well enough. But it was predominantly for people with like selling lamps or Christmas advent calendars, and it's all stuff you would find on like a normal market. If you've ever been to Kack-A-Ling Market or Blackbush Market, you'll know the thing I'm trying to talk about. I'll try and put something up here. It's a bit like this sort of market, and a maker's market is very different. So it became very apparent on the Saturday. It became very apparent on the Saturday that we were at the wrong type of market. However, we wasn't badly received. We just didn't make what I was hoping to make. One thing I will say is I think Saturday was probably the gloomiest day out of both the days. I'm going to say it this way, money-wise. So we made 2 sales, and I was just like, oh God, I've dragged all my family out to this, because the 2 small boys come with. I think it was really important for me to see that what Mummy's been doing and building these past few weeks, and I wanted them to see that. So it was important for that. And my husband come with, John, who you saw in the last vlog, who helped me make the stuff, and he come as well. In actual fact, the videos you've just seen, he was the one doing them for me. It was money-wise, it was a bad day, but you know what, family-wise, and it might sound like a cliche, I think I'm very aware that this is going to sound like it doesn't matter, because I got to spend time with my family. Actually, we was away from devices, we was away from internet, we had yummy food at one side of us, and then we had all the Christmas feels all around us everywhere. We were talking, we were giggling, we were like having conversations. We do anyway as a family. We sit around a dinner table nearly every evening and we unload the day and we all talk about the day. And like, I give the boys their pocket money and they went off and they spent their money and they'd come back, and the thing is, it wasn't that big, but it was big, and like it was big enough for them to go, but it wasn't big. It was inside a sports hall, and they wore their Santa hats. One wore their Grinch hat, one wore their Santa hat, so you could see them as they walked around. It was nice. I thought I had possibly took something away from them because it's their weekend, it's their break between school, and I thought maybe, well, I think mum guilt does kick in, and I thought, oh God, I've just took away their downtime. And then when it was time to come home, they were like, oh, they were sad. And then when we come home, they both like give me a hug and they were like, thanks mum, we really enjoyed that. And I think being forced into a situation where they couldn't just sit in front of their computers, they're big gamers, but not Xbox gamers, they're computer gamers. Just like their dad, they're like computer geek. I'm saying just like their dad. I am a computer geek too. So we all like to play on the computer and we all game, but they can often just go and do that, and you might not, they're teenagers, you might not see them for the whole day unless they want food. So what it was, I genuinely will hand on heart say that it was amazing for that day. And then when we went back on the Sunday, I think I thought I had high hopes that it would be another day, family sort of day like that. It was not. They were tired. They'd had enough. They just wanted this over and done with. I couldn't believe their mum had done this to them again. No, they didn't say that. They were very good, very well behaved, and we did well. We did better with the money and stuff. I do believe the display helped, and I believe changing the prices ever so slightly. So what I've come on to say is, it wasn't brilliant. I had have hoped I'd do better, but I did write down so I could say what I had sold. So I sold, let me see if I can just round it up. So I sold 1 tartan scrunchie. I sold 2 jumbo bows, which with tails, which was brilliant. I sold 1 no waist clip, 1 wired headband, 1 3-way bow, 1 Santa scrunchie, 2 mini bow sets, and a tool bow. So it was not a lot, but my experience from it, I still can't tell you if I'm going to. So the market was Saturday, Sunday. I am currently filming on a Monday, so I still can't tell you how I feel about it. And I have said to us all when we sit around, I don't want to, because we do sit down every night for dinner together as a family, and we unleash the day. But I have said that I don't want us to sort of unleash this until middle of the week, so we can all see how we really felt about it sometimes when you're in the moment, because I'll be honest with you, I don't want to do that again as it stands right now. I don't want to put my family through that again unless I go to a maker's market or a craft market, and they're all quite far away. I don't know, we'll see, we'll have to see. We'll unload it all and see how we feel about it. So right now as it stands, I don't know where we'll go from here. That's what I've popped on to tell you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to I'm working tomorrow morning, and I've got the afternoon off, and I think what I'm going to do is decorate the salon tomorrow. So putting the salon tree up. The salon tree is a really thin pencil tree, but decorating it, I've took the fall decorations down, or the autumn decorations down, from the porch area and the salon. Tomorrow I'll get that tidied up, put the stock away as well, try and figure out a way to be able to store that stock in a bit more of a confined space, because, well, I didn't sell it. So I'm gonna go on to Etsy now and pop a sale on and see how it goes. I'll see you tomorrow and we're going to decorate the studio / salon space. Right, off to go thrifting with my little one. Be back soon. So this first one that we are going into is the one that is the furthest one away from our house, but it is only just down the road. So we go in, but we always go to the second room in the back because that's where I often find like quite a bit of material. There we go, look. My camera didn't do this justice. That was like a cream lace foil. They were curtains. They were truly beautiful. And this was the most cutest tablecloth. It was so cute. I should have got it. I don't know why I didn't get them. And here's the moment I clock the cutest little drawer set. Yeah, you can see me running towards it. I fell in love with this. I put it back down because I was trying to decide where I could, like where I would use it, but I couldn't leave it. And then there's the scrap bin. I always have a little look in there. This thrift shop, it's like a treasure chest. There's always some little trinkets always around. You have a good look and you'll always find something. I've never once gone in there and come away empty-handed, but it is stacked full from floor to ceiling. The walk space that you have in there is just so tiny that you can't really pass each other either. It looks like there's a lot of space there, but if there was me and somebody else there, you couldn't pass each other. I'm just making my way around the craft bit. Well, the crafty sewing, needles, knitting, all that sort of bit. After having a good look around in this shop, we were ready to venture on up to the next shop. So this thrift shop is really good for arts and crafts stuff, and I often get my 13-year-old a lot of craft stuff from it. They do have these bins and they're cut-offs, but I just find they're quite small for you to do anything with, and I find that they want quite a lot of money for what they are. You could use them for quilting, but to be able to do a quilt with what they offer, you'd have to spend over £100 just on those bits. I was having a discussion with my youngest here. I thought that looked like Hello Kitty, not the licensed version, but I thought it looked like Hello Kitty, and I have somebody in the family who just adores Hello Kitty, but my son was saying no, it's a rabbit, and he was right. Looking at it now, it was a rabbit. He was right. Then I come across this dressmaking book. It's pretty much brand new, and I thought I'd best have a better look. Doing it with one hand was quite difficult, but it's a good book, and I put it back because I thought, I don't know. I've got plenty of dressmaking books, and I put it back. And then I saw a book that my son would like. He is very much into origami, so I saw a paper animal book, showed my son, and knew I wasn't leaving there without having to get the book, so picked the dressmaking book back up. I'm in need of some winter jumpers. I don't actually have a lot of jumpers. I think I've only got about 2 or 3. So you'll see, I'm troweling through looking for some winter jumpers that would fit my kind of style. I'm heading over to the material bit here. When I say material, all the bed sheets, I like to have a good look and see what they've got. If they've got something that I haven't got, and the quality of it. I always check the quality, but they had nothing. So after we were finished in this one, we brought the 2 books, and then we took a nice wintry stroll home to collect the others, get in the car and head over to the next town along. I took this film on my phone as we were driving, obviously, and I wanted to still keep it in. It was such a beautiful day. It was a really cold, crisp winter's day, but it was beautiful, and I wanted to keep it in, and I think I've distorted some of the resolution in trying to turn it so that it's not all like from a phone angle. So when we go over to this town, that's the sea. You can see the sea. When we go over to this town, I love to come down to the seafront. It's it's an award-winning seafront beach, sandy dune. I zoomed in on these birds. They were having a right conversation. But I like to go down there, and if the tide's out, you can go down and get lots of sea glass, but the tide was in today, so we didn't go down. And then we headed back up to the town and headed into our first charity thrift shop. So this is my husband's and my 13-year-old's favourite one. Now this one used to be one where I would get my material, get a bargain, like get them at bargain price, but I don't know what it is. They had a shift around in the shop and they moved everything around, and since then they've kind of not been selling covers anymore, like quilt sets. I don't know what it is, but I used to get quite good bargains in this one. So I always fall in love with the dresses in this shop, and it was no different on this day. But as you can see, so it's this one I fell in love with. But the first thing I do is I always have to check the length. I'm 5'3", so some of these dresses just don't fit, but what it does do is it helps give me a sense of what I want to make. And then I saw this tray, and I don't know why I didn't get it. I'm looking at it now. I'm not sure why I didn't get it. That's me just checking the underneath bit to see if it'll scratch up the table. I really liked it. I'm not sure why I didn't get it. I'm kicking myself now. So this is one of my favourites in this town. I never get material from here because they don't do it, but all their clothes are really good quality. And I just can't help myself. Whenever I see an old sewing machine, I have to go and have a good look. Their craft area, it actually used to be quite big and they used to have a lot in there, but it is just this little basket now. So as you would have seen, I went thrifting with my little lad, and we went to the first two shops here in our town that are quite local to us. So we just took a stroll down, and that's where I fell in love with this. And I said to the lady at the till, it reminds me of Phoebe from Friends. It is beautiful. I really love it. It's not old, and somebody has, like, they put these little sunflowers, daisy sunflower things on. You can't open it very well. To open it, you kind of got to give it a shake forward. But I fell in love with it, and I just think it's lovely. So I will use that in here, and it only costs only cost £3. So I love that. And then we went up and we strolled up to the next one along, and I found this dressmaking skirts and dresses, a handy step-by-step guide. And I had a little brief look in the shop, but I've had a look since I've come home, and there's quite a lot of tips in there. There's even overlocker stuff in there as well, which will come in really handy when I try to learn this. So I'm going to, wow, it even has a ruler. So so that come in really handy too. And then me and my son were like, let's go to the next town along. We are a seaside town here, but seaside towns don't just end in that one town. So the next town along is also a seaside town, but it's also award-winning seaside town. So when we go over there, I like to take all the kids in. When we go over there, I like us to go down to that seafront, and usually the tide is out and you can get a lot of sea glass from there, but the tide was in today. We had a little stroll around, and I was able to pick up this jumper, which I love. I just love. It's not vintage, it's not nothing. I won't be using this to cut up. It has loads of multi-colours in it, which I love. It's so me. So I'm gonna pop that in the wash. This was only £4. I'm gonna pop this in the wash and I can use that. So that's all I got today. I'm gonna finish my tea and shoot off because I do have a client due in. On ending this week, I would like to pop a little final note in there to say that the market, on reflection, the market wasn't too bad. It was just the wrong market for what I was selling. Since I've come home, I have had quite a few inquiries as well. So people had seen my stall there. The organisers had obviously put up posts of who was there, and a lot of people have been in touch, and since then I've been able to sell quite a few more bits, which has made me wonder if I should open up a Facebook page. So on reflection, I've had some time to think. I think what I'm going to do is maybe hold off and attempt to do an outdoor market in the summer or in the spring. Just one outdoor market and see how I feel with that. And I'm still obviously going to have the stock. Yeah, I'll still have quite a bit of stock. I understand my setup now. So I think that's what I'm going to look into. I've got plenty of time to think about it, but we'll see. So I know I mentioned in this vlog that I will be showing you what my husband got me for my birthday present, but it is in the other room. It is extremely heavy and there is nowhere for it to go. So what I'm going to do is add that into next week's vlog, because I'm also going to have to make something for it. So tune in next week if you're interested in what my husband got me for my birthday present. And all that's left to do is bid you farewell. Take care of yourself, take care of others. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you again real soon.
Same routine, no end, city noise, loud buzz, coffee spills, red buzz.